Hello, world history students. This is Mrs. Politsky, and I have notes for Chapter 4, Section 2, Hinduism. So follow along and get your notes. We're going to talk a little bit about Hinduism as a world religion, but to kind of put things in the context, I wanted to show you this map, and this is a map that I'll probably show you again when we talk a little bit about Buddhism. But if you take a look at what would be the subcontinent where I'm running my cursor, this would be basically the present day nation of India. And if you take a look at the graphic here, or the key to this map, you'll notice that a pretty good portion of the population that lives here are Hindus. Not to say that there aren't other religions. In India, you're going to find people who are Sikhs, people who are Muslims, people who are Christians as well. Not to mention some other minor religions that may also be taking place. But predominantly, if we were looking at it per capita, the majority of the people probably would align themselves with the Hindu faith. And so that's kind of why we're going to talk about this later on. This semester, we'll talk more about the subcontinent and its history, but you got to have a little background knowledge about the religion to kind of understand the culture. So, we're going to start with the Varnas, and this is something that, for the most part, dates back to early history. But there are four Varnas. Varnas are basically a way of describing social classes. And in India, for years, they lived by something called the caste system. And within the caste system, you would have these four layers, and then one that kind of falls below that, sometimes known as the underclass, or maybe those people who are pariahs in society, kind of the untouchables, so to speak. So we're going to start with the top of the Varna and kind of work our way down to the lower level. You have the Brahmins, and they are the highest ranking Varna. They are small in number, but they are kind of the most prestigious. They are priests and teachers predominantly. You have the Kshatriyas, who were the warrior and ruler types. And then that you have the Vaishyas, who were basically the common people of Vedic society, traders, farmers, herders, and so on. And then you have the Sudras, who were servants who waited upon members of the other Varnas. So let's talk about Hinduism. And number one here, the basic teachings of Hinduism are the Brahman. Basically, Brahman is the eternal spirit. Devas are aspects of Brahman that are active in the world. You have reincarnation. This is based on karma. And the goal of life is to fulfill the Dharma and reunite with Brahman. Hindu beliefs vary widely due to the influence of many cultures. Uh, for the most part, you predominantly find Hinduism within India, but there are other parts of the world, sometimes in Southeast Asia, maybe even in the Americas, that you're going to find examples of that. And for the most part, it may vary just a little bit. When we talk about reincarnation, this is this idea that with death comes rebirth, and it is a continual cycle. Probably the highest form of rebirth is to make it to the Brahman, which for the most part, a lot of people say are spirits that are in modern day cattle. So Hindus believe that Brahman created and preserves the world. Everything on in the world is an aspect of Brahman. Hindus' beliefs affect the way that an individual lives their life, and a person would want, for the most part, to behave in a way to improve their karma. That's kind of the good spirits, so to speak. If a person improved their karma, their chance of being reincarnated to a better life would improve. Hindu sacred text. The sacred text of Hinduism are the Vedas, and the Hindu religion practices prayer, meditation, yoga, which is part of their religious practices, pilgrimage, And finally, there are offerings that they offer up to their many gods. Hindus believe that the Vedas are a collection of knowledge not written by humans, but revealed to them by Brahman. Number 7, epics are different from sacred Hindu text because they are believed to be written by people or humans to tell a story. Hindus worship. This can take place at a temple, a shrine, or in the homes of the different followers. The ultimate purpose of yoga is to teach people how to focus their bodies and minds to help them attain moksha. And number 10, Hindus make pilgrimages to the Ganges River because it is believed that the river will purify them and remove bad karma. In some cases, when individuals die, their cremated remains may be taken to the Ganges. We're going to talk a little bit about another religion that's a little bit like Hinduism, but slightly different, called Jainism. And these people adhere to the following teachings. First, they practice ahimsa, which is nonviolence towards living creatures. They tell the truth. They cannot lie. They do not steal. And they try to eliminate greed, anger, and prejudice, and also gossip. So for the most part, they're trying to be well behaved. Jain monks and nuns, yes, they have monks and nuns, must give up all possessions. They live outdoors. They cover their mouths so that, that they're not, for the most part, breathing in any impurities that they could possibly kill, or the fact that they want to make sure that they're not going to say things. They also sweep the ground in front of them to avoid killing things like insects because they don't want to harm or endanger the lives of others. Thank you very much.